The Weaverbird's Dreamcatcher, a tale of courage and community. Once upon a time, in a dense, green forest, there lived a weaverbird named Quincy. Quincy was known far and wide for his exceptional talent in weaving intricate nests. The other animals admired his elaborate designs, which were both beautiful and functional. Quincy was proud of his skill, but he often wondered if there was a way to use his gift for a greater purpose. One night, as Quincy was preparing for bed, he saw a firefly struggling in a spider's web. The firefly's light was fading as it panicked, tangled in the silken threads. Quincy was struck with inspiration. He wondered if he could create a magical web, not to trap innocent creatures, but to catch and entangle nightmares, freeing his fellow animals from their darkest fears. Quincy worked tirelessly for weeks, collecting the finest materials and researching ancient forest lore. He traveled to the heart of the woods and sought guidance from the wise old owl, Walden, who was rumored to possess an extensive knowledge of magic. Walden was a stern, but kind-hearted owl. He shared his wisdom with Quincy, teaching him the ancient art of imbuing magical properties into woven items. He also warned Quincy of the importance of balance and that facing one's fears is a crucial part of growth. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Quincy dedicated himself to creating the magical Dreamcatcher. He wove the delicate, intricate pattern with great care, his feathers quivering with excitement as he worked. After a month of labor, Quincy held the finished Dreamcatcher in his beak, and its shimmering, silvery threads seemed to dance with a hidden power. He hung the magical Dreamcatcher high in the forest, and word spread quickly about its power to ensnare nightmares. The animals of the forest rejoiced, feeling protected and secure in their slumber. However, as the days went by, Quincy began to notice a change in his friends. At first, it was subtle, a sense of unease, a lingering anxiety. The once lively and joyful creatures of the forest seemed to be losing their zest for life. Quincy felt a deep concern, wondering if the Dreamcatcher was causing more harm than good. One day, while Quincy was examining the Dreamcatcher, he was approached by a courageous young hare named Penelope. Penelope had been plagued by nightmares for years, but she had used her fear as fuel to become the fastest and most agile hare in the forest. Despite being free from nightmares now, she found that she missed the challenges that her fears had inspired her to overcome. Together, Quincy and Penelope sought out Walden, hoping he could provide a solution to the forest's dilemma. As they explained the situation to the wise old owl, he nodded solemnly, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding. Walden told Quincy and Penelope that by ensnaring the nightmares, they had disrupted the balance of the forest. Nightmares, he explained, are not merely tormentors, but also teachers. Fears are meant to be faced and conquered, not captured and avoided. Only by confronting their fears could the animals truly learn, grow, and become stronger. Determined to right the wrong, Quincy and Penelope devised a plan. They would release the nightmares back into the forest, but only if the other animals agreed to face their fears head-on, with support from their friends. Quincy would teach them how to weave dreamcatchers, but ones imbued with the power to strengthen their resolve rather than simply trap their nightmares. The animals, with a mix of trepidation and courage, agreed to this new plan. Quincy took the lead, organizing workshops and support groups to help his fellow creatures face their fears. As the days turned into weeks, the once vibrant forest slowly regained its former glory. The animals embraced their challenges, learning and growing from their experiences. Quincy himself had faced his own fears about the consequences of his actions and had emerged as a compassionate leader. Soon, the forest became known as a place of courage and wisdom, where animals from far and wide came to learn the art of weaving dreamcatchers and facing their fears. Quincy's dreamcatchers now served as a reminder of their collective strength, and they sparkled like stars in the canopy of the trees. Over time, the animals developed deep bonds with one another, forged in the crucible of shared fears and victories. They discovered that facing their fears was easier when they had friends to support and encourage them. Even Walden, the wise old owl, was inspired by the change he witnessed in the forest, and he too faced his fears and insecurities. One evening, as Quincy and Penelope were weaving dreamcatchers together, they looked out over their home, which had become a beacon of hope and growth for all who lived there. They realized that their dreamcatchers had not only captured nightmares but had also woven the community together, creating a tapestry of love and understanding. With a heart full of gratitude, Quincy gazed at the magical dreamcatcher that had started it all, now a symbol of the transformative power of facing one's fears. He marveled at the journey they had all taken and the lessons they had learned. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the forest, he knew that the magical dreamcatcher's purpose had been fulfilled.